Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers, the live Facebook interactive show where you, the viewer, has total input on topics of discussion regarding any subject that includes commenting, talking, or debating, not just with your host, but with each other. You control and run this show. We're just a rudder that steers this big old ship. This is the show that is wide open with no limits as we bring it to you first. We discuss breaking news, politics, and business, sports, and other pertinent stories that affect our and your everyday lives. We serve the regional area to include Stark, Lake Butler, Keystone Heights, Palatka, Gainesville, Waldo, Lulu, Melrose, Brooker, Hampton, Middleburg, Jacksonville, and other surrounding areas. If there is a story to be reported or dissected, On the Spot is the first to handle it. We'll also discuss happenings in Florida, as well as Georgia and other southeastern states. But now let me introduce the show team, the guys who bring the move to the groove. First, behind the controls, with the video and audio, is our senior producer, Mr. Command and Control, the big dog, our executive producer, Super Dave Daredevil Holland. Say hello, Dave.
Oh, hello there, everybody.
Good. Up next, our operations director and advertising and marketing director, John Better Than Snopes Pros. How you feeling, John?
Fantastic.
Good deal. Behind the scenes, providing us with up-to-date information, our sports production assistant, Roger the Tornado Cruz, and our man with all things weather, Austin Storm Chaser Stevens.
That's weird. He's MIA.
I know it. And now my co-host, to my left, sitting in for our historian tonight. No, he is the historian. Actually, Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater is on special assignment tonight.
Is he on special assignment?
He is. Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater is on special assignment tonight. So, Michael, thank you for bringing everybody to the show, and then he just leaves.
Just leaves.
Yeah, but that's all right. He's got some bigger story for us on Saturday.
Really? Okay.
But to my left is the historian and the governmental whiz and fighting for our freedoms, Mr. Byron Bagwell.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, lying, dog-faced pony soldiers and infidels. Disclaimer. We do not believe that Royal Canadian Mounties are lying or dog-faced, and we do not believe the way the Native American Indian did about American soldiers. Thank you. We also do not believe that quid pro quo Joe Biden has a brain cell left in his head, and we do believe that.
And to my right, with local news and breaking information, Mitchell, the American scout, and your lookout on terrorism and anything else that doesn't belong or looks out of place, Gunter.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And I'm your host, Mr. David Rodgers, the voice of the Bradford Tornadoes, and welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to you live from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office, and we want to thank our host, Sheriff Gordon Smith, and his great emergency management staff for their hospitality. Just a reminder about the new and improved ADO, so you, the viewer, has your say. Anytime a story hits near and dear to the hearts of our viewers, or you have questions or comments, we jump into ADO. Mitchell, tell everybody what ADO is.
Audience-driven overtime.
ADO, audience-driven overtime. We've been there many a times. This allows you, the viewers, to have complete control of our show while giving everyone equal opportunity to have their voices heard. And now, before we dive into the show, it's time to recognize our sponsors, the companies and groups that allow us to provide the services that we do. Welcome to the Sponsor Spotlight. Providing some of the best cuts in town. Our very own Dave Holland and the rest of the fantastic team at Harry Business, home of the $8 haircut. Located in the Deerfoot Village, open 7 days a week, 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday, and 12 to 4 on Sunday.
Does a great job on all of us.
Absolutely. Miracle Automotive and Towing in Stark and McClenny. Don't pray for a miracle. Call Miracle at 904-368-1114. That's 904-368-1114. 24/7, 365 days a year for all of your towing and automotive needs. Williams Jewelry of Start, Vicki Williams, open 9 to 5:30, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, Mitchell, 9 to 4 on Wednesday, and 10 to 4 on Saturday. Make sure you go to downtown and visit Williams Jewelry. Look at here, about grass time now, on the spot lawn maintenance. Let the red, white, and blue take care of your green. We have your gutters and pressure washing covered and all sorts of yard maintenance needs. Just find us on Facebook on the spot lawn maintenance, or you can call my cell phone right there. Byron, why don't you tell everybody what my cell phone is?
Cell phone number is 904-966-1633. That's 904-966-1633. Or you can just tell him like I'm about to. I need my yard cut.
Okay, well, there you go. Service First Mobile, small engine repair in McRae. Let Chuck Scarberry come to you. Call 904-703-5136 to schedule an appointment. It's Schuster and Sabin Law Firm out of Jacksonville, Florida. If you've been injured in an accident, go to www.piplaw.com. There you go. And last but certainly not least, and our newest sponsor, North Jacksonville Complete Dentistry with Doctors Johnson and Baxter. They've got all your dental needs covered. Located conveniently on Dunn Avenue in Jacksonville, Florida, the home of Leonard Skinner.
Yes,
Call
sir.
Dan Baxter at 904-751-4958. That's 904-751-4958. And if you mention on the spot, and this is good work by John Probst, you'll get 10% off your bill. How about that, huh?
That sounds like a great
That
thing.
sounds awesome. If you would like to become one of our sponsors, all you got to do is call John Probst at 904-782-7101. That's 904-782-7101. Or email the team at onthespot32091@gmail.com. And now it's time to get started with our show. So first, what we always do, our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the week. So we're going to start off with the prayer. If I could have everybody, please remove your hats and bow your heads, please. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day, dear Lord. Let us thank you for everything that you do for us and that you've done for us through this week and just throughout our lifetimes, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the world's greatest country, the United States of America, and keep our freedoms and our rights, dear Lord. Thank you for our armed forces, that they do a great job, dear Lord. Keep a hedge of protection over them as they're throughout the world, wherever they're at, that you keep a hedge of protection over them and bring them home safe to their families. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, make sure you touch those people, dear Lord. You know what their needs are. You know where their hearts are at. And please touch them as they're in time of need. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day, that it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Again, thank you, dear Lord, for a beautiful day, a glorious day. Just thank you for the life that we have. Thank you for letting us be able to do this show and also bring this to our viewers. And we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. Let us stand up for our pledge here. Mr. Byron Bagwell, if you'll do the honors, please, sir.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. All right, Mr. Bagwell, what do you have for us, sir?
Just 1 second.
All right, while you're holding on just 1 second, again, I want to welcome in everybody to On the Spot with David Rodgers. It's our Tuesday night show. If you don't know about us already, you can come to us on Tuesday nights from starting at 7 p.m. We try to run a show till about 9 or so, maybe a little before that. And then Saturdays, same time, 7 p.m. Now, you won't see the whole panel here all the time because we all got something that we got to do at times. You are usually on call. Sometimes you're actually on call this week.
That's correct.
Never know when you may get a call.
That's right.
Mr. Mitchell Gunner, if y'all don't know, ladies and gentlemen, is a race car driver. Hey, let me tell you something. He goes and races over here at the Gainesville Raceway, does a great job. Now he's trying to, this year, last year wasn't so great, Mitchell, but this year you're trying to put the, hey,
It's a new year.
pedal to the metal, aren't you? It's
That's
a new year.
New year.
So just thank y'all guys for joining in. Again, my name is David Rodgers. To my left is Mr. Byron Bagwell. To my right is Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Over to my left, over here behind the controls, the pretty face that you don't get to see is Mr. John Probst. And over here to my right is the other pretty face of the deal, Mr. Dave Holland, running the show and producing the show for us.
Does a great job.
Does a great job.
Yes.
So, Byron, what do we have today?
Well, we get another little quote by Ayn Rand,
Okay.
and she basically said, "In the name of the best within you, do not sacrifice this world to those who are its worst."
That's a good quote there, Byron.
In the name of the best within you, do not sacrifice this world to those who are its worst.
Wow. You know, it reminds me of a Bible quote, and just real quick. You know what it is? The Lord says, live in the world, but don't be of the world.
That's right.
So there you go. Just a little Bible lesson for you tonight. So
Ann was basically talking
about the
same thing. She escaped communism.
Right.
Is what she did.
Yes.
Her and her husband got out of the USSR.
Yeah.
And then they came here, and she wrote books like Atlas Shrugged.
Mm-hmm.
And really interesting life. The lady was very, very smart, and she wrote great books. Great books.
And I'll tell you, upcoming shows that we have, Miss Shelley Rogers will be one of our guests. She's going to come show all her books that she's done, that she's going to be selling over at the Strawberry Festival that you'll be talking about. So she'll be coming on the show. Actually, Gordon Smith has talked to me. We're going to bring him on the show. And here in a couple of weeks, as soon as somebody gets off of their medical leave, we've got a special surprise for all of you.
Really?
Yes, sir. Somebody's going to get chased by a dog.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know who that person is,
We've
but
been
he's sitting in
talking
this
about
room.
this for almost a year now.
Yep, I don't know who it is. That person's sitting in this room. I can't give it away.
And another.
Why are you looking at me, Byron? Don't look at me, Byron. I ain't doing it.
Better you than me.
John said he ain't doing it.
All I can hear.
Mitchell?
All I
Is
can
it you?
hear.
Well, then that leaves me, then, doesn't it?
That's all you.
Every time we talk about this, all I can hear is the line from Stand By Me.
Or we can use Roger.
Oh, boy. Let's just continue on with the show here. Now it's time to get started with, we just did our prayer, our pledge, our patriotic code of the week. And now, Mr. Mitchell, is it to my right?
But take a deep breath.
Okay, is it to my right first? All right, we have found Mitchell's long-lost aunt, Nancy Pelosi, his cousin, woman cousin, AOC, and his stepbrother, look at this, Adam Schiff. My God. And Byron's great-great-grandfather is Muammar Gaddafi. Oh, boys. Oh, my goodness.
And that right there is why I'm a Republican.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I have to laugh. John's over there. He's got tears in his eyes. I wonder how many people are laughing there. So here's your quick and dirty for tonight. Start PD is reminding everyone to lock their vehicles and their belongings since there has been a rash of burglaries lately. Firefighters in Bradford
Rash
County.
is something else going on this show.
Yeah, a big rash. Firefighters in Bradford County and with the Florida Forest Service have been busy lately putting out brush fires around the county. The Bradford County Fire Rescue is asking all citizens to be vigilant and careful when out and about. Star Police are reminding people to watch their speed as traffic enforcement around the city will be kicking off this month. Several locations around the city will be targeted as well as school zones. Ladies and gentlemen, anywhere, if you're going speeding through a school zone, you might as well just double that fine.
That's right.
Double that fine. And if you're really doing in excess, John, I think they'll put you in jail, won't they? Won't they just arrest you and go ahead and handcuff you right there?
Depending on what the circumstances are now. If you're in a school zone or a construction zone, it is automatically double the fine.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can also, even if you're not speeding and you're using one of these devices while you're driving
Ooh.
in a construction zone
Yeah.
or a school zone, again, it's going to be a hefty ticket.
Yes, it is. Police are also encouraging anyone shopping at Walmart to take steps to protect their purses and other items in their shopping carts after a series of thefts recently. Using the child's seat belt to secure a purse will prevent a purse snatching. Yep, because they'll have to take the whole damn cart. Excuse my French. Lastly, the sheriff's office SWAT team served a search warrant off of State Road 230 today.
9mm also stops at,
Yes, it does.
So does 45.
But this is great right here, Byron.
Yes, it is.
Detectives and the Drug Task Force recovered a stolen weapon, meth, cocaine, and other illegal opioids. How about that, huh?
Wow.
And I believe that firearm was stolen from somewhere in Clay
Clay
County.
County. Yep. Multiple suspects are being interviewed as we speak. Guess what, Mitchell? That's another one for the good guys.
Yes, it is.
Because we're the good guys, and that's another one for us because every time they notch one, guess what? We notch one. That's exactly right. Here's your forecast, Austin's Weather Service. The potential for severe weather exists Thursday afternoon into the evening as a cold front will move through, bringing more seasonal temperatures. Tonight, we want to absolutely, there we go. So anyway, that's for the closing of our show. Again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. Right to my right here is Mr. Mitchell Gunner, the local man, the guy looking out for anything that's out of the ordinary. He'll tell you. He'll let us know. He called me one time and said, David, I spotted something that was out of the ordinary. And I was like, what was that? He said, I think I spotted Roger's son in front of Dave's shop. That's pretty ordinary. Yeah, that's out of the ordinary.
He
Wasn't
was
it?
standing there by himself.
Oh, he was he?
Yeah.
Looking for his dad?
He was just calling out for him.
Yeah.
I think I just figured out who Roger's dad is.
Oh. Ooh. Roger would like that, though.
Yeah, he would.
Yes, he would.
Yeah, he would.
All right, Roger's dad is King Kong Bundy,
You made the wrestler?
the wrestler.
Yeah, look my dad.
See, I told you. I think, yeah, that didn't get him. So, whatever.
You know who Mr. Son is?
Now, who's that?
The DNA combat, Dan Holland, is his lost son.
Okay. Anyway, next. All right, let's get to
Hold
some
on,
comments.
hold on 1 second. There is a comment up here that
Yes, I know.
we need to get to.
Yeah, we're going to
from
get
Mr.
to.
Dwight Allen.
Yeah,
Because I think he's quite on the spot with this.
Yeah, so I'm going to introduce everybody just real quick that's on the show. Austin Stevens, Byron Bagwell's on the show. Carlton Jones, Austin's Weather Service. Hey, where are you at, buddy? We got your weather. Byron, what's up with that hair, brother? You want to tell Archie what's up with that hair?
Already answered him.
Already answered him. Sheila Lyons, thank you for joining us. Byron Bagwell, growing it back out just a little, he says. Noah, thank you for joining us. And Anthony Black, thank you. Coming in from Tallahassee, Florida, Glenda Brian Wagner. Yes, Connie Wilson, hello there.
Hello.
Yeah, Austin's Weather Service again. Noah Gibson right here. What is that? If you guys volunteer me, it better be a Great Dane.
Ooh.
Oh, boy. Okay. What next? Not nice, David, about, I guess, the Muammar Gaddafi would have been plausible for me. yeah, maybe. Poor Mitchell turned all kinds of red. Yeah, they need to do
That
this.
was in anger.
Yep. Okay,
A little bit. He's not armed because I'm over here too.
Yeah, I don't know if our viewers can see it. Austin has posted something in our comments column right there about the weather again, a little bit, mainly tonight. So it says tonight, partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly cloudy. Areas of fog after midnight, low 58 to 62. Southwest winds, 5 miles an hour. Wednesday, mostly cloudy. Areas of fog in the morning, highs 83 to 88. North of I-10. How about that? So, and you can read the rest of it. He laid it out there hard and heavy all the way to Saturday.
As
So
long
y'all
as
can read that.
As long as there's no rain on Saturday and Sunday, I'm happy.
Yeah, you're happy. I was just going to say, Dave Holland Jr., thank you for joining us. Wrestler, now pay up, Kong, he says. King Kong Bundy. So Noah Gibson said that he ought to pay up.
Okay, now, for some reason, Dwight
yeah,
Allen's comments
go
are
ahead.
not showing up on our feed.
He ain't in
But-
Facebook jail, is he?
No, he's not in Facebook jail again.
Uh-huh.
But the first thing he said was that Where did it go?
Go back. You got to go back up right there.
No, I turned it off. He was
Okay.
talking about Jesse Smollett, or Jussie Smollett, or however he pronounces his name.
Yeah.
He'd been indicted by a grand jury
Mm-hmm.
for lying to the police, and basically that it's going to turn into a hate crime. Is what it's going to do for his actions. So, yes, Dwight, he has been, and that's a very good thing because you cannot do that
Yeah,
to,
you're
to
right.
people, and you can't do it to
No.
the police either.
No, you can't.
And the second thing that Mr. Dwight Allen says is you've been hanging out with Billy Rayberg.
What? Dwight Allen, you can't say that about me.
He most certainly can after what you just
Well,
said
wait
about-
a minute. Hang on just a minute, brother. Hey, we're all brothers here. Wait a minute, Mr. Dwight Allen. You can't say that about me. As a matter of fact, I want to challenge you in a wrestling match here the next time we do a wrestling show. Me and you one-on-one.
Roger looks like Paul Bearer.
Oh, man.
Who said that, Dwight?
Dwight, that's
Hey,
good.
but
Oh, my
Dwight,
God.
guess what? We found David's brother,
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go. Uh-huh.
Bernie Sanders.
Oh! God, really?
Hey,
A little bit of red
Hey, I
diaper
know.
in your family tree there?
you know
Well,
who?
then we must be all related then.
You know
Well, you're not. You're Muammar
who? You
Gaddafi.
know who my real dad is?
Who?
Seth Victor Rollins.
Yeah, get out of here. All right, let's get on to what our Lord. You got something, Dave, you want to say?
I'm just going to say you're just like your daddy.
Just like him, just like
Yeah,
Bernie Sanders.
You want to help everybody.
That's true.
And
Hey,
The only thing that the difference is he's a commie.
you know what else is the same about
Well,
y'all?
he's lived his
Y'all
life
both
just
wear
like Karl
glasses?
Marx.
Yeah,
Y'all both wear glasses.
that's true.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
That's
ruin
true.
that.
Yeah, that's true. So I would just want to know what your aunt used to cook you on Sunday afternoons, Miss Aunt Nancy Pelosi.
I never went to her house.
Bull crap. Now I'm on. Yeah.
That's exactly what she cooks up.
That's exactly what.
Bull crap.
You know who?
This show is off the rails, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, by the
Already.
way, please, everybody that's doing this, please continue to send her
Yes.
laminated copies of that speech.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
hilarious.
4 more wheels, baby.
Anyway, go ahead there, Mitchell.
Nothing to
We're going to
do.
get to our local news here with Mr. Mitchell Gunner. We still got sports coming up. Byron's going to touch a couple of little things of some national and some world news. Somebody asked me today about the coronavirus, if it's going to spread its way here.
Yeah.
Well, I can't answer that right now because I don't know. The nearest case to us right now is South Carolina.
South Carolina.
So I don't know. That's close.
I
That's
think-
2 states.
You
So-
mean here as in Florida?
Last here is in Florida, like in this area,
Yeah.
because we're in North Florida. So if it comes across the line there anywhere, I guess we'd be some of the first ones, wouldn't we?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I
so,
hope not.
but I'll let Mr. Brian Bagwell get into that on his deal there. Yeah.
All right. Well, as far as local stuff, first thing I'm going to get into is some events that are coming up.
Mhm.
Lake Butler Hospital will host a heart health fair on Thursday, February the 13th from 12 to 3 p.m. There will also be multiple free health screenings going on at that event. So if you don't have anything planned for Thursday, head over there to Lake Butler Hospital and participate. And you never know, you might find out that you might have something that you actually need to get with a doctor on.
Mhm.
And try to find a resolution for.
You know, Lake Butler Hospital, Big Business of the Year award.
That's right.
At the North Florida Chamber of Commerce
That's
banquet. So make sure you go over there and visit them. Nice. Have you ever been over there, Dave? Man, I'm going to tell you what, buddy. That's a nice little hospital over there. They got some good people over there, too. So, yep. So just in case you ever need to go.
I got a lot of friends that go there.
Yeah.
I go to Gainesville.
Yeah, me too. The VA?
Yeah.
You got friends in low places, too, don't you?
Okay,
just making sure, yeah, it's just- Yeah, okay.
Also,
Roger, Dave, control your sign.
also going on in events is community and schools will hold their 5th annual Glow Run. This event will start at 5 p.m. The event is located at the Firm at 7266 Airport Road. You can go ahead and buy entries in as an early bird. Kids Dash will begin at 5:30, and as long as you buy the tickets ahead of time, it's $20. And for the 5K Glow Run is at 6 p.m. and those at $35. Also, the Bradford County Relay for Life will be holding their 9th annual car show on Saturday, February the 29th from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. The event will be located at the Florida Cracker Kitchen. The address is 7154 Southeast County Road, 21B, Keystone Heights, Florida. The entry fee is $15 per vehicle, and we also have vendor spots available for $25 a spot, which is really cheap. We try to keep it low like that because we want our vendors to be able to make money. But at this time, at this certain location, we are not requesting any food vendors since the Florida Cracker is letting us use their property for the show. To go ahead and get into the awards, the awards are Best of Show, Best Ford, Best Chevy, Best Mopar, Best Import, Top 20, Early Bird, and Club Participation.
Is there any such thing as a best Chevy? Oh, stop. No.
And Mitchell Gunner, by the way, is hosting this event right here. He's putting a car show together. And I wanted to ask Mitchell, Byron, we want to ask Mitchell this question. If we could enter our car in.
Sure.
It's a soapbox derby car. Is that okay?
It's fine.
What category would that go under?
No class.
No class.
We'll be competing with the Chevys.
Bam.
You'll win.
Yes, we would. Yeah.
You think I'll be
No
not
class.
called?
So at this time, one thing I want to do is thank our sponsors this year. Our award sponsor is Murray Auto Group. A big thank you out to them and Amy Hoglund for working with us and helping us out with the awards this year. We also have Jex Performance, RockAuto.com, Pro Charger, Haggerty Insurance, and of course myself. I go out and I buy
Yes, you do.
buy stuff for our events and also go through my collection of automobilia to use as door prizes.
Oh, cool.
So if anybody has wants any information as a vendor or as in general the event that's going on, please give me a call at 904-966-1386. Also coming up is Bella Oaks Bluegrass Festival.
Mhm.
This is going to be held on February the 22nd from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The location is 11800 Southwest 167th Lane in Brooker, Florida. They will also have barbecue dinners for sale, and some of the groups that will be performing are the Backwood Boys, Medicine Springs, Trinity River Band, Jim Hurst Trio. And then at this event, it will cost you $20 to get in.
Guys, the cost of that admission is
Admission's
actually
very cheap.
it is actually worth going just to see this place. It's absolutely spectacular, and the music last year was great, and it's going to be great again this year. The event's worth going to.
Beautiful location for it. You know, last year it was wonderful being out there and really great event. If you never ever participated in going to listen to bluegrass, I would go out there if I was you and just experience one time. It'll have you hooked.
Yeah, it will. It definitely will. And me and Dave was out there talking about that a little bit. I didn't get a chance to talk to you gentlemen about this, but that event's from 11 to 5. Usually we do our show at 7 o'clock. I know that our producer Dave Holland is pretty much manning his shop during that time, and it's a pretty busy day for him. So we're not sure at this point if we're going to be doing our show out there from that particular location. We would like to do it. That's something that we will talk about. So if you were looking forward to seeing that some of that Bluegrass Festival, we're still in the works on that, big guy, to figure out if we're going to be able to do that out there. If not, we will have a regular show on Saturday. So it'll be regular time.
Well, we'll get on to some news. Today, February 11th, threats were made against Marion County schools. Marion County Sheriff Office investigators said that there were threats made against Bellevue Middle School and high schools, and also a couple of private schools in the area. They went ahead and they beefed up security in all these locations to just make sure that the kids have protection. If any of this was true to happen, they were ready. They're going to continue to investigate it, And for some reason that you may know who have done this, they said, please feel free to call the Marion County Sheriff's Office at 352-732-9111.
No.
One.
Also, this past weekend was the Tim Tebow Foundation celebrating its 6th anniversary Ignite the Shine event. I mean, this is a really wonderful thing that Tim Tebow does with this foundation. It gives the opportunity to people with special needs to kind of like have a prom. And guess what they did this year?
What they do?
They roll out the red carpet, and the Florida Marching Band played while they were being introduced to walk on the carpet into the building.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a really great thing that he does. They had over 277 guests this year
Wow.
in Gainesville. And I know some of the people here in Bradford County, they participated in it. Seen them catching the bus to go over,
Right.
a nice charter bus. So he doesn't pull out no stops.
No, and anytime you mention the name Tim Tebow, that's going to get a draw.
Sure
It
is.
doesn't matter what it is, whatever event he's in. You know that as well as I do. Tim Tebow is probably one of the biggest names that's come out of the state of Florida. Played for your Florida Gators and did a great job for them. Me and Byron hated him as far as a football player goes because he stomped our tail about 4 times in a row. But that's okay because afterwards I got to respect the guy and I really like
Right.
the guy and I think he's a
He's
heck of a
he's
person.
a great ambassador.
Mhm.
Yes, he is.
Not just
Yes.
because of
Yes, he is.
his relation to sports, but he's a good ambassador of all people,
Mhm.
in general. And I hope there's more people out there that will come out and do things like this for these young men and women.
I want to do a little story in our sports section one time, Mitchell, about Tim Tebow. Me and Byron's had this talk a little bit while Tim Tebow's not in the league. And we've got some interesting scenarios why that is. And I think we would all agree on some of it.
Oh, I know why he's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I
So,
can guarantee
yeah, and
you.
we'll do that on the sports section. How about
Right.
that one day?
That
We'll
sounds
talk
great.
about that.
Also, to let you know what's going on in Bradford County, on February the 25th and 26th, the collection site will be closed at State Road 121B. They will be making accommodations, redoing that area, so you actually have a definitive entrance and exit into the collection site. And hopefully this right here will help save lives and accidents in that area. It's been a very prone area for accidents, just the
Mhm.
way the layout of the road and stuff is.
Right.
I know me and Tom Germano, we have been working on this for a while. Tom's been working with FDOT. I've been working with the county. And we came up with the plan to reroute the traffic there at the collection site. Because if you follow the arrows that were there in place, it would actually tell you to exit out on the left-hand side of the drive instead of on the right-hand side of the drive. And that was also having people to have to crisscross of exiting the dump and coming into the ramps to dump their trash. So I tell you, I really appreciate Mr. Dodds and Benny Jackson for working with us and the commissioners for approving this to go forward. And the gate's already up. There's actually a piece that will be on the spot with David Rodgers' Facebook page here in the next day or two that Dave Holland filmed with me and Tom Germano out there. And you got to watch it. And also speaking with Tom Germano, working with FDOT, we don't know when these things are going to take place, but the speed limit will be dropping down
Good.
to 50 miles an hour through that zone, and they will also be placing a caution light up above the intersection. Now,
That is awesome.
this gives us hope later on
Good
if
deal.
the RV park is built. They will already have utilities there for that light, and maybe that will result into
An actual
traffic signals
light.
going
Yeah,
up
that
there
would be great.
That would be
after a
great.
while.
Yes.
At the very least, like we've talked about before, they need to reduce the speed limit down there. I
Right.
mean, there's a bunch of people who will probably get upset with me about that saying that, but it's 60 miles per hour there, and that becomes a very dangerous intersection with everybody going into the dump and everybody going into the restaurant.
Right.
So something needs to be done.
Yeah.
Well-
It's so hard because, like, if you're coming out on 21B to 100, if you look to your right in toward Keystone, you got the hill. And then if you look the other way in towards Bradford County, Stark, you got the curve. And I'm telling you, sometimes it is really hard to judge a vehicle speed when it's coming around that curve. And I think that's a lot of the confusion there. And plus, the traffic coming in and out from both sides of 100 out of the collection side in 21B. And as Dave was there filming us, guess what? One of the guys, he motioned, hey, I'm going to go this way, telling the other car so they wouldn't have an accident.
That's good.
So that kind of communication is going on, and you can actually catch it in the background while we are talking.
You know, and that's one of the reasons we do this show, ladies and gentlemen, because we can get some of this stuff pretty quickly. We can get it out there to you. And, you know, when we were talking about this, Mitchell was already all over this story. And again, we bring it to you first on the Spot with David Rodgers, with my guys that do their research and their homework on these kind of things. And I think because of our show, Mitchell, and some of the other outlets, the awareness is out there now. And now you're seeing those kind of things. Hey, come on. Hey, I'll go this way. You know, and I think that's exactly why, because we're doing and you're doing the things that you're doing for this as well.
And just go ahead and let people know I haven't given up on 144th and 100 or 225 and 16. Actually, at the chamber banquet, I was actually talking to Mr. Payne, discussing things with him. I've called FDOT back. I'm giving them another call tomorrow. I was trying to give them a little bit of time for me to get a call back from them. Trying not to harass them, but I'm going to give them a call again tomorrow and see where we're at on the survey for 225 and 16 to see if we can validate traffic signals going in there. And I tell you, if you can pull up the accident reports for this year, for those intersections, you're going to be amazed. I think they're up to, don't quote me on it, but I think they're up to having 12 accidents at 225 and 16 for the year. I might be wrong, but I'll double check, and we'll try to get those numbers correct because I might be getting them a little mixed up with last year's numbers as well.
Okay, right.
But still within a yearly time frame, that's about how high they are. Go ahead and get into another story real quick. Is the school budget being impacted by enrollment? There has been a drop in enrollment in Bradford County School District, which has caused a loss of funding. The loss has cost the school district $1.14 million. Right now, the Bradford County is over 133 full-time students. In comparison of last year, this has reduced the county's total funding from the Florida Education Financing Program to $23.77 million. These calculations are based on enrollment. It also takes into account costs between districts and local tax revenue. The superintendent of schools, Stacy Creighton, said that they have been documenting the reasons for the declining enrollment and receiving the information from exiting interviews. She said there are reasons of lack of adequate housing, economic problems, so they would have to relocate to have the right economics coming in their house, money, and also options of parents finding alternative traditional schools. The Bradford County Education Association president, Angie Hopkins, said it's not declining enrollment that came to a surprise. It was a shocking through the 2 years decline more than 7%. The decline of more than 4% each year over the past 2 years.
That's crazy.
So, and a lot of results of this is also parents pulling their kids out of school, doing homeschool,
Right.
And all this has effects of that federal money coming in.
Right.
So this is why it's so important that they're starting getting really involved in making sure that your child is going to school through truancy. Because when your child misses school, it hurts their school district because they miss out on money for that day,
Right.
federal money. So that's why it's so important to get your kid.
Yes.
And plus, they learn. They
Right.
learn as well.
Yeah. Speaking of local schools, have you ever heard of the 1619 project?
No, I have not.
I have not either.
You might want to take a look and see if our schools are starting to include that in their curriculum.
Right.
And then we'll have a discussion between the two of us about that and why it should never happen and why the New York Times is involved with it and why they're basically spreading lies about the United States history and feeding it to our school systems.
Right. Well, I know one good thing is supposed to start tomorrow, and that is Ron DeSantis has gotten rid of Common Core.
Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
gone.
I find it hard to believe that Ron DeSantis would allow this here, but anything is possible with politics.
Right.
So that would be a very interesting thing.
Yeah, it
It's
would
called
be.
the 1619 project, and I'm going to tell you, if children in a school district that used that curriculum, I would remove them from the public school that they were in and put them in a private school. Period. So,
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why a lot of these parents have moved their kids out and put them in private school,
because
is because they don't
Mhm.
like this Common Core mess that they have
Right.
been, making our school districts teach our children. And I'm telling you, I imagine there's quite a bit of teachers that don't like it, and there's probably some up there in administration that don't care for it either.
well,
And I'm glad that
of
we're
course.
getting, he wants us to get back to the basics of way and doing stuff.
Mhm.
And it's so funny because, my son, we see this math and what he has to do, and he'll figure out the math problem and he'll have it. And we got to go, no, you can't, you got to do all these circles and you got to do this and that. He says, why? That's stupid. I've already got the answer.
And you know what? you know what? You know what? Your son's right.
Yeah, he is
Your
right.
son's right.
He's like, I already got the
and
answer.
that is coming from a person who used to teach school.
Right.
That curriculum is counterproductive. And the term dumbing down,
Yeah.
you have to start
Right.
thinking that was it designed for that purpose?
Well,
Because you look at the ways you traditionally solve math problems, and these kids can do that. Like you just said, your son did the problem, had the answer to it, but then has to jump through all of these other hoops
right.
that frustrate them. I don't know that I'd ever passed a math class. Math was
Right.
not my best subject, but if I'd had to do it with Common Core, it'd have been even worse.
Right.
Right. It
Yeah.
does. I'll tell you what, to do one problem, it will take a child, I don't know, probably 10, 15 minutes of problem to actually do.
Wow.
And when they can just say, 10 plus 3 is 13. And boom, they got their answer. And instead they got to do all this drawing and all this other mess.
Ah.
And so it's crazy.
Sounds like the long way around.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will help enrollment come back in our schools, getting rid of the Common Core. I know, one thing I hope for a school district is that we do start getting some businesses here in Stark, some bigger
Sponsor.
businesses, get that tax revenue growing, because we need that so bad. I mean, we do. We want to be able to pay our teachers more money, for one, because we lose teachers all the time.
Sure you do. To different school
Because,
districts.
right, to other school districts because they pay more money than what we pay.
Well,
And-
when I left Bradford County and went to Alachua County, my salary was about $8,000 more a year. $8,000 more a year than
Right.
it was here in Bradford County.
Right. And that's nothing on the school board. They got a tight budget that they have to run by. because we don't have a lot of economic growth to have that tax base to support it.
Right.
You know, and same thing goes across the board for all government offices in Bradford County.
You're right. What else you got for us, Mitchell?
Well, we got some more candidates
Do we?
looking
All
forward
right.
to entering the race. One of them is Will Hartley. He will be running for Bradford County School Superintendent against Stacy Creighton. We got Denny Thompson. He announced running for the clerk's office. He is now the third person that will be running.
How about that?
Who's running again? Who's all running for the clerk's office?
Lisa Rodgers
That's right, and Miss Berry.
and Miss Berry.
Yep.
And Denny Thompson.
And Denny Thompson.
Denny Thompson. Yep.
And Glenn Rich Sr., he announced that he's going to be running for county commissioner. Glenn Ganand, he filed to run for sheriff.
Glenn Janan.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then District 1 for county commissioner, Mr. Chandler, he will not be running for re-election for his seat. So he's got 3 people that's interested in his seat. One is Miss Spooner.
Former mayor.
That's correct. James McNeil and Janice Mortimer. Yeah, Mortimer.
Janice Mortimer.
So,
How about that? So interesting races there, and election time coming up. Should be some interesting races here.
Definitely.
Bradford County, 27,000 people, but probably what? 14, 15, 16,000 voters maybe?
right.
So,
we can get the list of how
Yeah,
many
we
voters
will.
that
We'll
we
break
have
that
in Bradford
down.
County
Mhm.
from Terry Vaughn's office, and we can announce that on next Tuesday.
Yeah,
which,
and
I won't be here Saturday to do it.
right, that's all right. But if you give it to me, I can do it for you if you
Okay.
like. Yeah, whatever you want to do. But hey, Roger Cruz just brought us a little breaking news right there. You want to get into that, Mitchell? Look at that.
Putnam County Sheriff's Office has found 2 guns at the middle school in students' backpacks.
Wow.
Does it say what middle school that was?
Oh,
I don't see it there anywhere there.
It's there somewhere.
Is it?
Yes.
Anyway,
That's
yes.
at Palato.
Putnam County. Putnam
that's-
County is
that's
Palaco.
Jenkins Middle School.
Jenkins Middle School.
Okay.
That's right there. Okay.
So please, parents, pay attention to your kids. Talk to them every day. Find out what's going on at school. A lot of the times, these children take firearms with them to school or weapons of some sort because they are being bullied. Speaking of being bullied, they had an incident
Yep,
at
I heard about that.
Interlochen
Yep.
that went viral on Facebook. And Putnam County Sheriff's Office is also looking into that. But, have good communication with your child. Find out if they are being bullied. And take it upon yourself to go down to the school district. Try to get it taken care of. If you don't think that you're making any way with it, contact your local law enforcement office. Have them fill out an affidavit of what's going on with your child, with this other student. Fill it out. Protect them.
Right.
Try to keep them from doing something like, taking handguns or a knife to school.
Yeah, and you're exactly right there, Mitchell. We want to protect not only our students that are at those schools, we want to protect the administration, everything that's there, because, even though we have stuff in place for that, you know what I mean? We don't want it to escalate to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't want to have somebody shoot some kid because he brought a weapon and is drawing it around everybody. You know what I mean? That would be ugly right here.
It would be really ugly. First thing is how does a middle school student get a hold of two 9mm handguns?
That's crazy already.
I mean that is partly on the parents.
Right.
Right.
Because
they're
guns,
not doing gun safety at their house. They're not up under lock and key. I guarantee. Well, you can look at them. They didn't have no trigger locks on them. So if you got handguns, you got children around, please put trigger locks on them.
Or put them in a handgun
safe.
safe that you're capable of getting to if you don't want to put the trigger lock on it because you're afraid you're not going to be able to get the trigger lock off in time to defend your family.
Right.
Put it in a safe to where they can't get to it.
And for one thing, teach them gun safety. I mean, don't just have the guns. I mean, if you got the guns in your
Right.
house, teach your child gun safety. Take them outside, shoot them, show them what they'll do to a jug of water. Use that as reference as a human body,
Sure.
and teach them all the safety aspects of it.
Absolutely.
Make it not so taboo,
Taboo, right. Right.
for them, because then they're gonna do stupid things with them. I can tell you, I can take a rifle and I can lay it on the table at the house. Zane won't pick it up, and Damien won't pick it
I'm
up
sure they won't.
because they already know. I've already talked to them about them.
They've been trained.
I already showed them how they operate.
Yep.
So there's no need for them to experiment with them.
Yep, and that's exactly right. So, and again, welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. We just got through our local segment with Mr. Mitchell Gunner. We got Mr. Byron Bagwell over here to my left. And right here is Mr. David Rodgers, again, your host. Got Roger Tornado Cruz, John Probst, and Dave Holland, Michael Heater on special assignment. I want to get to the comments real quick.
Let's get some of these comments.
Let's see. Yes, it is payback for me, Connie. I surely will agree with that. They say that you're Kissinger. You can have that. Ban China in and out of flights now. Cindy Fudge, how you doing? Stephen Cindy
evening,
Fudge,
Cindy.
yeah, how y'all
Good evening,
doing?
Steve.
Yeah. Looking ahead, not expecting rain at all this weekend. How about that, Mitchell? That's great for you. Good for flu causes, still taking out half of college students. Yep, Mr. Terry Vaughn's on. Hey, Mr. Terry Vaughn, if you're still on, I would like to go ahead and extend a formal invitation, if you could, to join us on the show and talk about some of the things going on with the supervisor of elections and some of these races, if you can, as much as you can get into it. But we'd love to have you on the show. It would be our pleasure. You know, already I'm following your footsteps doing the tornado football.
And then he's always more than welcome to stay for the sports section too.
Yes, he is. Yes, he can. Yes, he can, Mitchell. Yes, he can. So, my car's an 04. Forecast for Pascagoula, Mississippi, surrounding areas tonight, cloudy with 50% chance of rain showers. Patchy fog, low to 60 to 63. East winds 10 miles per hour. All right. On the 29th, there's Highlander games at Green Coast Springs Fairgrounds. And y'all, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That would
Yeah.
be a very good thing to
That
go
would
see,
be,
too.
yes, it
if
would.
you haven't ever seen the Scottish games, they're worth going to see. They
Yes,
really
it
are.
is. You got that right. Liz Holland is on.
That comment that Noah made, we need to talk
Which
about.
one
for a
right
second.
here?
Go down, just back down just a little bit.
It's going to turn the school district into a ghost
I
town.
know he says
Which one?
wait. 1619, wait. Go down just a
Okay.
little bit more. Or back up.
Back
a little
up,
bit.
Dave.
Sorry, whoa, right there. Wait, 1619, that's like,
The bad way of destroying history.
and now that I've said that, we find that one of our viewers knows a little bit about it.
Yeah.
We'll do a little bit
More research on
that, and
Yeah.
then we'll discuss the 1619 initiative. I know
Yeah.
a little bit about it, but I don't know enough about it to go on about it with someone.
And we were talking earlier about how many people were registered to vote in Bradford County.
Right.
The number is 16,852.
Was I close or what?
We have
That was a pretty good guess.
87 Democrats. We got 8,388 Republicans and 2,677 others.
Okay, well, there's your breakdown right there, and we'll get into that more. How
Say
about that?
number, that Democrat number again?
5787.
Yep, 57.
Oh, 5787.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5787.
I thought you said 57.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
I
you.
knew they were losing members in Bradford County, but I didn't know they'd lost.
Parents' negligence, simple as that. Parents ought to be fined. Well, there you go. Lack of parent not doing their job. Yeah, we had two guys back to back saying that. I fully agree with that.
If you don't have your
Yeah.
gun locked up and your kid takes it to school, yes, or worse
Right.
than fined.
Mr. Bagwell, you know, I'm going to, if you don't mind,
Sure.
I'm going to go into sports right quick. I am going to delve right into sports, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. How about that?
Hey, that's great with me. sir.
All right, so I'm going to delve right into sports. This is our sports section brought to you by Schuster and Saban Law Firm. Yep, www.piplaw.com. And here we go with our sports section. Hey,
Seeing how is our
Bradford Tornadoes lady basketball team, sorry to say it's over. Yeah, they come in as a number 2 seed, Byron, in the district playoffs. Keystone Heights was the host team over there. It's just the way they picked the schools and everything.
Right.
And the Lady Tornadoes went over there and probably had their worst shooting night of the dadgum year. And they wind up playing the Keystone Heights Lady Indians, and they lost 38-19, which eliminated them from regional and state playoff action. But it was a great season for the girls. Sometimes it happens that way. You're going to get a bad shooting night. And then Keystone turns around and plays North Marion, the Lady Colts. And the Lady Colts beat them by 1 point, 45-44, in a game that was really good. And North Marion is the district champs, so they'll get to host a game. I believe tonight is when it is, and then Keystone has to go on the road and play their game as well.
Keystone has not made the playoffs. Just the district champs make the playoffs now. By the new
Okay,
system.
so there is no runner-up no more?
No, you must win.
You must win it at all.
You win all two.
Okay, so North Marion is going, and Keystone is not either. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Coach Gibbons and her staff, congratulations on a fine job. The BHS Lady Tornadoes weightlifting team had 5 young ladies make it to the regional tournament. Unfortunately, when it was all said and done, they had no state qualifiers. We didn't have anybody place first or second. We had 3 third place, 1 fifth place, and 1 sixth. What they do is after that meet, they put them in a pool to determine who might get a chance to go. And after all the numbers were tabulated and everything was figured up, none of our girls made it. However, I would like to thank Coach Adrian Mosley and Coach Autumn Rodgers, which is my beautiful daughter, who had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Autumn Rodgers. And Mama Shelly Rodgers, along with the rest of the team, on a great season. Want to congratulate some of the girls, if their moms or dads are on here, to Kira Backen, Brianna Jordan, Jessica Traylor, Michaela Cooper, and Hannah McFarland. Congratulations, ladies, on a great season. And I believe most of those ladies will be back next year.
Yes.
So they should be okay. Our BHS Boys Tornadoes basketball team is on the road tonight. They're over in Dunellen playing in a game to see if they can move on as well. They were on an 0-4 road winning streak. So no wins, 4 losses in the last 4 games. So Coach Roberts and his staff looking to turn the season around. The Tornadoes are 13-10 overall, nationally ranked 64-88, and state ranked 251. And like I said, they're over in Dunellen right now. And who are they playing?
Keystone Heights.
Who? Keystone Heights over in Dunellen, the number 4 seed. Okay, are playing right now, and I don't have
Santa Fe versus North Melbourne after it.
Okay. So anyway, worried about Bradford right now. If you could get me an update on that, that would be good. So good luck, young men, on that. Our wrestling team is going to be in action on Wednesday, February 19th at 1 p.m. That's going to be over at Clay High School. That is for the regionals to see who can qualify for the state run. So hopefully some of our boys may be able to qualify there as well. Also, we have our spring sports starting up. We have BMS boys and girls track. We have tennis coming up. We have flag football coming up. We've got baseball coming up. We've got softball coming up. So, and then we've got spring training for the Tornadoes as well. Right. So I'm going to get into it here just a little bit. Talked about the boys basketball team already. Talked about the Bradford weightlifting team already. So BMS baseball and softball schedule on February the 11th. The boys went over. That's today, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, they're over there at Lake Butler in a preseason tournament over there. They played at 5 o'clock. I don't know the results, but I'll get you that by Saturday. And then they're going to go back over there on the 13th and play again, another one of the teams that are over there. The regular season, Dave, starts off on February 24th as they'll both go to Oakleaf, and they'll play Oakleaf Middle School. They both play at 5 o'clock, unfortunately. So make sure you go out and support your BMS Tornadoes softball and baseball team, because what, Byron? That's our future. That's who's coming going to be high school baseball players and softball players. So make sure you go out and support them. Our Bradford baseball schedule here is in full swing. They're playing in a preseason classic over at Baker County, starting on February the 10th, which was last night, through the 14th. At the time of this schedule here, the teams and the times were to be announced, but I know they played a game already. Did they win or lose? I don't know if they won or lost.
It's not matter on the West.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter but I just want to know if they won or lost. And then I think they're playing again tonight or tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there, and I'll get you some scores and who they played and their opponents. But opening week is going to be Tuesday, February the 18th, as they'll go back to Baker County and play Baker County over in a regular game. That game starts at 6:30, and then Thursday night you can be able to catch them as they'll go over to Middleburg and play the Middleburg Broncos. That game's at 6 o'clock. I want you to look at this schedule, gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 games all on the road. Isn't that crazy?
That's pretty tough.
That's pretty tough right there. Then, yeah, it's a tough schedule. Then they get a nice little homestand right there with a couple of away games. And then, as you can see here, they'll have some more. So they're playing a lot of away games this year, unfortunately, because that's a brand new baseball field over there. If you haven't been over there, that's a gorgeous field, man. You need to catch a ball game over there. And any team that should want to come over here and play on this stadium, at this ballpark, that's for sure. So Bradford baseball, make sure you go out and watch them as well. Bradford Tornadoes softball, they're getting ready to get started February the 15th. They'll go to Santa Fe. And they'll play the Lady Raiders over there. Well, actually, they're going to play in the Lady Raider preseason tournament. And Bradford drew Ponte Vedra out of St. Johns County. They'll come all the way over here to Santa Fe. That ought to be a great game. And then at 12 o'clock, right after that, they get to play Bell. Bell's a powerhouse over there in a smaller school. They've always got a good softball team. So, Bradford will get tested right there. So, Ponte Vedra at 10 a.m., early start time on Saturday the 15th. And then Bell versus Bradford right after that at noon. So, make sure you go over there.
Good sports.
What's that?
Because there's nothing there.
Which is very true. Almost like Trenton, right?
It's cow pastures.
I'm almost like Trenton. So, and then February the 18th, Byron and Mitchell, they'll start the regular season. They'll go to Buchholz. They'll play Buchholz over there. Game time's at 6:30. That's over in Gainesville. And then on the 20th, they'll play Clay High School over there in Clay, over there in Green Cove Springs. Game time is at 6:30 there. Then on the 21st, they'll play Santa Fe. Again, going back over there. That game's at 6:30. So their first 3 games are on the road. And then on February 24th, Gainesville High School will come here to Tornado Alley softball field, and that'll be their first home game of the season. So good luck to the ladies softball team. They had a pretty good season last year. They're making strides to get a little bit better. Coach Blankenship told me, said, hey, these girls are ready to play. So let's see what happens there. And, of course, one of Mitchell's favorite deals here is, Bradford High School track schedule right here. Mitchell, they've already had the high school. Right. Let's talk about the high school first. They've already had a meet, Clay preseason meet at Clay High School. I heard some runners did pretty well over there. It was like a preseason meet, getting everybody warmed up, getting ready for the season. And then on the 19th, they're going to go over to Byron's old stomping grounds over there, Oak Hall, right there, huh? Mm-hmm. Oh, you went to Oak Hall, didn't you, Byron?
I did.
Oak Hall for the Oak Hall meet invitation over there at Oak Hall School. That will start at 1 o'clock. So that'll be the first official track schedule and track meet of the season. The middle school.
Back when it really was a private school. And
true, yes.
That's basically turned into a public but private school. It's different now than it was when I went.
And on February 13th, 2 days from now, Bradford Middle School will host a meet. It'll be the Bradford Meet Invitational. We'll host it right here on the high school track. That'll start at 4:30. So make sure you go out there and support the track team live. And then on the 20th, they'll go to Orange Park for the Orange Park meet, or Orange Park High School, and that meet will start at 4:30. I did have the flag football schedule somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Girls flag football also going on. The girls in 2 years have never won a game. Can you believe that in flag football? But the coaches say they're going to turn that around this year, and they should win some games. They played all their games on the road the last 2 seasons. They never played a home game. So I don't know if they're going to use the new field to play some of these home games or if they're going to use the practice field, but I think they're going to have some home games. So let's see what the girls flag football team will do this year. And then, of course, the Tornadoes will be doing their spring football practice. Oh, boys weightlifting. I forgot about that too. Boys weightlifting will be cooking hot and heavy. Let's see who we can get to qualify there. I know we're going to have at least one state champion. Roger knows the guy already. Nunu from Lake Butler is going to be lifting with us this year, and we should have a state champion definitely out of him. He's won it 3 years in a row. Let's make it 4.
Absolutely.
And he's going to be lifting for Bradford, so that should be pretty good there. So, and then like I said, spring training for the Tornadoes. All right, getting in some other things. How many people watched the XFL this weekend? Roger did, Byron did, Mitchell did, Dave watched a little bit, John watched a little bit. I tell you, the XFL, I was surprised, gentlemen.
I was impressed.
I want to have a little talk about this because I was impressed. There's 8 teams. There's 4 in one division, 4 in another. And I tell you, the quality of football that I seen was pretty dadgum good.
Wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. There's some rule changes. I'll tell you some of the things that I liked about it. The number one thing I liked about it was the instant replay. I love the instant replay, how quick it was. They got in there, looked at it, got it done, boom, boom, and they had it done. It was less than a minute on a lot of those replays. The second thing I liked that I seen, and I think it's going to be for player safety, was I like, and Byron said I'm going to have to get used to it, where the kickoff teams lined up at the 30-yard line. 30 and 35-yard line is the way they did it.
And they couldn't move until the receiver caught the ball. I'm going to have to get used to that.
Yeah, we're going to have to get used to that. But I know it's for player safety because you're not running as fast and you're not running as full speed. So when you do tackle the guy, it's not with a full force impact coming from your own 35-yard line. But that was always what was good about football because you could bust somebody's tail on special teams. How many of us, seriously, John, you play football. All of us play football. Hey, when you was to make the team, if they said, hey, you need to make the team, but you're not, I'm going to make it off of special teams. So you'd run down there and you'd bust somebody square in the mouth. And then guess what? That coach would say, man, that daggone Rodgers got hard. That Hollins got hard. That Probst has got hard. Hey, let's put him on. Let's put him on the traveling squad, and he's going to play special teams for us. Well, guess what? When you do that, you're also the backup in your position.
Yep.
Right.
So that's always what was the good thing right there. So, hey, ninth grade, that's how I made the team. Hey, I went down there and started busting people square in the mouth. And then I started like an idiot returning punts. And I'll have to tell you about the story about that one time that I did. Maybe Renee will tell you. But anyway, lit out like a light. But anyway.
I've been lit up a couple of times on kickoffs.
So anyway. But that I thought it was pretty good football. Like I said, great coaches. The only thing that I didn't like about it, Byron, was what you said, and I don't know if you other gentlemen agree. I could care about all that interviewing on the sideline and bringing in these analysts and all that. I could care less for that.
I was so happy not to see WWE, and I was even more happier to not see anything like He Hate Me.
Yeah, me too.
I was really happy not to see those two things. They've actually done a good job.
They have.
I say out of 10, I'll give them a 9.5.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to give them a 9.5.
I think the league is going to grow little by little. I want it to grow because hey, I can watch football all year round.
See, and that's the people yearning for football. Here it is, right here. Yeah.
Years ago we had that. We had the World League.
World League.
World League. What, Europe. 12, 13 years ago, 14 years ago, more than that, maybe?
Probably a little bit more than that.
15, 20 years ago?
You're talking about the Jacksonville Bulls.
No, that's the USFL.
USFL.
That's the United States Football League.
I will tell you this about it. I can see if they handled this right, this turning into another feeder for the NFL.
Yes.
Really another feeder for the NFL, because I watched players on those teams this last weekend that could be on an NFL roster.
Oh, absolutely. And some of them were. Some of them used to be.
It's to help them better redevelop themselves to get back on. I mean, and also those who don't have quite the quickness to be in the NFL, it still gives them an opportunity to still play the game that they love.
Me and Byron was on the phone, and we was watching the St. Louis and Dallas game, and we knew a guy. We know Florida State, Hoskins.
Oh,
Hoskins. Dwayne Haskins.
Haskins.
He used to play linebacker for Florida State. He was in the league, and he came down there, and that Dallas kickoff return. Oh my God! Did he nail him or what, son? Oh my God! That was just a square licking. But you've got some NFL players.
We've seen that before in college. We've seen it a little bit with him in the NFL, but he really showed out.
Yes, he
Same
did.
thing with the punter.
Yeah, the punters.
King.
The King.
King was his
Yeah,
name.
he used to punt in the NFL.
Right.
Which one my favorite part is? My favorite part of the NFL, I like the punts. You go for one to tie.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad that you
go for
said that,
two,
Roger.
Yeah.
Technically, or you go for three to win it all. Did
Yep.
I buy a touch? Did I buy by one?
But let's specify. And Roger's right. You get to try a 1-pointer, a 2-pointer, a 3-pointer. Your choice.
And none of them are
But
field.
it's none of it is a kicking.
None of it's
You
kicking.
have to do a play. You have to run a play. You get
end
one
zone.
play. So if you do a 3-point play from the 15-yard line and you don't make it, you don't get no points. And that's at any other of those yard lines as well. So I do like that. Now, one thing I ain't going to like, and I haven't seen it yet because I heard, who was it? Was that Coach Stoops say that the safeties were playing too deep?
Too deep for it.
Yeah, this double pass, this double forward pass. I want to really see how that works out because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know
How
that's
it's,
gonna work.
how it's going to work out. You know how it's going to work out. You're going to get somebody's clock clean. after watching the talent, really watching the talent, they might as well take that
Want to do this first or?
take that play out because
We'll come back later. Yeah, let's see if we can pull that up here. But anyway, yeah,
you might as well take it out because the talent there's too much talent on the
there's
field
too many. Yeah,
You want
to be
the
throwing
colors?
double passes.
no, yeah. Let's go to. I wanted to know the teams. Let me see if I can remember the names. Let's see.
The Dallas Bandits.
We got the Dallas Bandits.
You got the Tampa Bay
Vipers.
Terrible
Vipers.
jerseys.
Vipers.
Tampa Bay terrible jerseys.
Yeah, those were horrible.
Oh, New York
Yeah.
Galaxy.
New York Galaxy. Yep.
The
St. Louis. What were they?
Houston.
Houston. We'll look it up right here.
let's
We're going to
look it
look it up right here. He's going to look it up right here. But anyway, those that's 8 teams. They're going to play 8 games. After that, then you'll determine who you'll have a champion out of that. So I think the West is going to play the East, and that's the way it's
There
going
you
to
go.
go. The
It's Dallas Renegades.
Yeah, the Dallas Renegades, the DC Defenders, the Houston Roughnecks, and the Seattle Dragons. Okay, and then the St. Louis Battlehawks. I like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Man, they have
Los
nice
Angeles
uniforms, too.
Wildcats. Yes, they do. New York Guardians and the Tampa Bay Vipers. Golly, they need to get rid of those jerseys.
Yeah,
So
they're kind of wild, aren't they?
yes, they are. But it's like Roger said, it's in 2 divisions. And the top winners of those divisions will play off, and that'll be like their Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
But I think it's going to, like Mitchell said, I think it's going to increase in teams. It's going to increase in games. And as attendance increases, I think you're going to see all of this all just fall back in a
Shoot,
row.
it might even give us an opportunity to go out there and try out. How
Yeah,
about it, David?
yeah, I could try that. You want me to play special teams? Oh, Jesus. Can you imagine
I'll
me
be the
running
one
down there,
back.
somebody clean my clock?
I'll be the one back.
So,
You
but
can be
anyway,
boy.
I'd just like to get y'all's opinions on the XFL there. All
Have
right.
you heard the NFL news about Jacksonville?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I didn't know if
Yeah.
you were going to get to that or not.
Yeah. The 2 games in London.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The 2 games in London. Home games actually for the Jaguars there. And I heard that there was talk about these. Yeah, well,
No, four.
Four.
They're
Four.
talking
Four.
about having
Yeah,
4
4.
home games in London.
well, and which eventually I heard talkings in the background that they may eventually move to London. Varying on what happens over there. Now, you know as well as I do, their attendance over there because they're thriving for football. Their attendance is way more than the Jaguars stadium is right now, and that's just because, like I said, they're yearning for football, just like they yearn for soccer over there. They're going to go watch. I mean, they can fill a 90,000 seat stadium, no problem, with standing room only.
From what I see, you have a fan base.
Base
Not
over
all,
there.
not all fans. I was talking about in Jacksonville.
Yep,
Not all of Jacksonville Jaguar fans are this way.
yep,
They expect Gainesville North. They
Correct.
expect the University of Florida North.
right.
And that doesn't happen in the NFL.
No, it doesn't.
Take a look at what happened with the Saints and Tampa Bay.
Right.
Still had people going into the games. The attendance wasn't the greatest in the world, and they were absolutely horrible because they were both horrible for years.
Right.
And now Tampa Bay has a Super Bowl, and the Saints have one too.
Right.
So, support the team.
Mm-hmm.
Support the team. Period.
Right.
And it'll stay because
Got to.
Shad Khan's going to keep the team there if he can get the support for it. You can't hold everything that goes on in the NFL as a problem with coaching staff or a problem with the general management
Right.
or the GM or anybody.
Right.
It's the NFL. Things happen in the NFL, and good teams have injuries, and then
Yes,
you
they
have
do.
problems. Or you pick the person in a draft that's unbelievably rated, and they're bust.
Yep.
The
And it
NFL doesn't
happens.
work like college.
Well, there's talk. You speak of bust. They're talking about, are they going to sign Prescott?
Who?
Dak Prescott.
The Cowboys. They're going to re-sign
Well,
Dak Prescott. Are they going to bring in Brady?
And here
They're
we
thinking about
go.
bringing
It
in
all
Brady. So
starts.
it's all.
It all starts with Brady, with what Brady's going to do, because now that Rivers has made a move. You know they've gotten rid of Rivers.
Where did
Rivers
go?
is probably going to go to Tampa,
Yeah.
Tampa or Miami. Okay.
Ooh, I hope he
Yeah.
doesn't go to my home.
Okay.
God.
Now
Oh.
Brady's on the free agency market unless he retires. And guess who else is on the free agency market, John? Drew Brees.
Breeze is not going anywhere.
I don't see Brees going anywhere.
Drew Brees is not going
If
anywhere.
he, but I've heard him talk about going to San Diego, over there to the Chargers. So
Maybe.
I mean, I just can't see all this turnaround here. I think Brady retires.
I can see
I don't know.
Brady.
He said he's not done.
No,
I
I
can
know.
see Brady, and I can see Breeze, or not Breeze,
Rivers.
Rivers going somewhere else. Drew Brees, I can't see leaving New Orleans.
I just can't see it.
But I tell you,
I can't.
it'll
the
be-
team's too good.
it'd be a bad mistake for Dallas to get rid of Dak Prescott and bring in Brady, because Brady doesn't have very many years left.
No.
Prescott does.
Yes, he does.
Well,
So
here's the
do
thing.
you put all your chickens in
Oh,
the
eggs
basket
in one basket.
to try to make it to one Super Bowl?
Yeah, well,
Because there's a possibility you could make it to one Super Bowl with
You're talking about Jerry.
with Brady, or do you wait, let Prescott get you there, maybe twice or possibly three times before he retires?
oh, I mean,
You
I
gotta-
agree with
you
you.
gotta
Why'd
roll
you
the
sign the
dice.
young quarterback anyway? You signed the young
Right.
quarterback to be your franchise quarterback.
Right.
You need to give him some time to develop, some time to get some players around him.
I
and he
wouldn't
will be-
replace him. I
So,
wouldn't
no,
replace him.
I wouldn't replace him either.
Well, you're also talking about Jerry Jones too.
Yeah, well, yeah. There you
So
go.
I mean,
So
there's
there-
no telling.
You're
what
talking about
he's
the
going-
Mad Hatter in the pros, like the Mad Hatter Les Miles in the college ranks.
I mean, just fires one of the best coaches ever in the NFL. I mean, he
Yeah.
replaced him with a really good coach who won Super Bowls. We still fired one of the best coaches in the NFL ever.
Yes, they did.
We don't need.
You know who?
What
You
are
know
you
who
doing?
picked the? You know who picked up? You know who picked up the Dallas coach?
You're talking about Garrett? Who did pick him up?
I think Jacksonville picked him up.
Who, Jason Garrett?
The OC.
Oh, the OC, offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think he is going to Jacksonville.
Well, I think so
I know
too.
Garrett
thought so.
is
Mhm.
going to the Redskins.
Yes, he is.
He's the offensive coordinator for the Redskins
These kids, I
now.
was about to say, he's,
Yeah.
He's not a coach.
You know,
Jason Garrett's going to be offensive coordinator for the Redskins.
yeah, because Matt Rule, I guess, hired him, right? Matt Rule,
Right.
the new coach.
And Dallas
yeah.
did clean house.
Yeah.
Almost everybody, and replacing
I was
everybody.
going to say the offensive coordinator's Gruden in Jacksonville. Jay Gruden didn't. They
I believe so.
may be,
It
yes.
may be Jay
Yes.
Gruden. Yes, they did.
The first female coach in NFL history at Washington.
No, she'll be the second coach.
Yes.
The first one's
49ers.
49ers.
First one was on the 49ers. She's still there. She was there for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So anyway, going to go on here. All right, let's talk a little bit. John, I need you involved and Dave, you involved. I've got a deal. We're 6 weeks away from March Madness.
Mm-hmm.
We always do a bracket. Somebody always does a bracket. You can always get in these brackets. You got chances to win big money in some of these brackets. Last year, in one of my brackets, I was in the 97 percentile on ESPN. 97%, only missed 3 games, the whole thing. 97%. If I wouldn't have missed those 3 games, I could have easily been up there for the $1 million. So That was just luck, though. The whole thing is luck.
It's just luck.
It is.
I mean, you would
So, yes.
clairvoyant to do.
So what I would like to do is, as we always say, we want to pay it forward and pay it back. I would like for our viewers, us, and we'll push it within our community. I would like to make a bunch of brackets up. $10 a bracket. The money that is raised, we give to the food pantry. On the spot, gives that money to the food pantry. Y'all agree? Are y'all in agreement?
That's great. Yeah.
Are y'all in agreement? Let's do that. We can't start the bracket, though, until we know who's going to be into the tournament.
Right.
So we'll have to hustle to sell these brackets, but we can go ahead and start telling people. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still on, if you want in on this bracket, all you got to do is send your $10 to Mr. John Probst. Mr. John Probst will get you a bracket back, or we'll put the bracket on the page, and you'll be able to fill out your bracket. We'll have it permanently. But I just want to go over the AP poll here real quick. Baylor's 1, Gonzaga 2, Kansas 3, San Diego State 4, undefeated, the only undefeated NCAA Division I team left. Louisville 5, Dayton 6, Duke 7, Florida State 8, Maryland 9th, and Seton Hall 10th. And the rankings did not affect any at all. They stayed the same. Duke beat Florida State last night, 70-65 in Cameron Indoor. Great game. Florida State couldn't hit the back end. He couldn't throw it in the ocean, what I hear. So there you go. That's why they lost that game by 5 points. It was back and forth. Good game.
All the points to score was in the paint.
That's
Every
it.
single one of them.
Now, I will say this. There is no great team in this. You know how I usually always say, oh, Duke, or it's Kentucky, or Kansas, or Indiana, or Ohio. There is none. Man,
That Florida State team could win it all.
Yeah.
Duke could win it all.
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga could
Gonzaga.
win it. I mean, any
Yeah.
of these teams could win it all.
the top five, those top five, Baylor, Gonzaga, Kansas, with the exception of San Diego State, Louisville, Dayton was up in there, Duke and Florida State was up in there at one time. The top 5 teams since the start of the season has been upset 15 times by a non-ranked team. That's how you know there's no powerhouse here. So this is going to be a smorgasbord of a deal here. So look, yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. So anyway, make sure you get your bracket. $10. The proceeds will go to the food pantry. We always want to pay it back. I think they would love that we did that.
That'd be great.
So absolutely, and we'll tell you how much we raised. But make sure that you get your $10 to John. Make sure you put your name there. And as soon as the brackets come out and we know who's in, we'll get you to fill out your bracket. Us guys right here, we will grade them all. We will make sure that everything is rolling right. You'll get a copy of your bracket as well, because you should make one and keep it for yourself so you know what the teams are doing. And let's see who wins. And it'll be the best. It'll be whoever's in the national championship game. So if you pick let's say it's North Carolina and LSU, and you got North Carolina and LSU in the national championship game, and you got both of those teams, and nobody else does, Byron Bagwell, congratulations. So we'll go half the pot. We'll go half the pot to the winner, the other half to the food pantry.
Something tells me that Garnet and Gold is going to be involved.
Possibly. All right, let's go ahead with Daytona real quick.
All right.
And as we're wrapping up, getting ready to wrap up the show, we still got Byron Bagwell on a couple of issues there. So what do you got on the Daytona circuit?
Well, since I've got it pulled up in front of me, NHRA, the first event of the season was out in Pomona, California.
Yeah.
Your winners are Jed Coughlin, won Pro Stock.
Okay.
Doug Coletta won Top Fuel. And Robert Height with John Force Racing won the funny car.
Wow.
So and John actually done pretty well. He got eliminated in the semifinals. So the old man is still
It
going.
just amazes me
after
all of these years.
You know what he said? He'll quit when they put the nail in the coffin.
Okay, there you go.
So.
The nail ain't in the coffin yet.
And then this past Sunday, I don't know if anybody have watched it, but the Busch Clash was going on. And it was more like the Busch crash that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost every car was tore up. There was only 5 cars left on the last lap, and those cars was Eric Jones. He became the winner. Austin Dillon was second. Clint Boyer third. Kyle Larson was fourth, and Ryan Newman was fifth. And
All right.
everybody else was laps down. I mean, it was.
Crash
It was like a A crash fest, exactly.
And on Saturday, I'll give you the lineup. I'll give you the pole positions and everything for the Daytona. I'll give you all
Well, I
that
already got
because
the poll.
you already got the
we
poll.
already
Yeah,
know
we
the
already
poll.
know the poll.
Yeah, Ricky
Stenhouse
Stenhouse
is,
Jr.
it's
has
on the
the poll.
inside, right? It's on the inside.
So
We still
I-
got
He-
the outside left, or he got choice.
He's got choice.
Choice.
He can pick whatever
Okay, I
lane
bet
that
he goes to the
wants,
inside.
or outside.
They go inside.
So,
I
but
would.
you still
I
got
would.
the duels. I think the duels are happening this weekend,
yeah.
Right.
and then that will determine the rest of the positions.
That's Saturday, and I believe they race on Sunday. I believe
Maybe that's what
Yeah.
it is
I
because
think-
they have
yeah.
to
It's either
determine
done
the rest of
Friday-
the positions off the.
Friday night.
We'll know
And it's
all the
Sunday?
positions Saturday.
Right.
It's
By the showtime, we should know. We'll pull it up, Byron.
I'm so discombobulated because I'm not going to get to
Friday,
hear a certain voice announcing
The-
this stuff that I
the-
haven't even
the-
looked
the
into it.
dudes.
The
Friday
that
night
saddens
and
me
Saturday
greatly.
night. After Saturday night, West, the people who not qualified,
They'll be put in positions.
so you must qualify. You must win the duels to get into the Daytona 500.
Who? Well, no. The winners.
Right.
The winners will actually be placed in third and fourth.
Fourth.
They've already
Right.
determined the pole and the next to the pole. The winners of each one will be
The next
third and fourth, and then the other positions will follow after
as their
how
qualifying
they qualify.
time. How
They're,
they qualify.
they're using it as qualifying.
Qualifying.
Correct.
Yes.
They judge those positions on how well they do in those duels.
Amen. So,
Okay, let's
It's
see.
Daytona. I'm ready.
All right, so just get to these comments real quick. How about FSU girls coming back in the bottom of the seventh and into tie Alabama and won it in the eighth? I know FSU softball team. I didn't get to that. I'm sorry. We will get to that. I know that Mitchell had the baseball pole pulled up there, and we'll get into that, Mitchell, on Saturday. I just want to get right, Pelosi. Oh, Jesus. Soccer is a perfect time to pick new teams. Okay.
Well, I got them real fast. If you
Oh,
want
yeah.
to go through them.
Yeah, go through them.
All right, this
Yeah,
is the AP. I mean, the college
baseball
baseball
poll.
poll. They will kick off their season this weekend. Number 1 is Louisville. Number 2, Texas Tech. Number 3, Arkansas. Number 4, Arizona State. Number 5, Vanderbilt.
Defending national champs.
All right. Number 6, Miami. 7, Georgia.
God, that was a
8,
good
North
team last year.
Carolina. Number 9, Auburn. Man, look at the SEC teams.
I know
there.
it. Yeah, they're loaded.
Number 10 is East Carolina. Number 11, Florida State. Number 12, LSU. Number 13, UCLA. Number 14, Duke. Number 15, Florida. Number 16, Stanford. Number 17, Mississippi State. Number 18, Oklahoma State. Number 19 is Michigan. Number 20 is Oregon State. Number 21 is North Carolina State, or NC State, however
Yep,
you want to
yep,
say
yep.
it. 22 is Texas. 23 is Oklahoma. 24 is Ohio State. Dave Holland's team.
Yep.
Number 25 is Clemson.
There you go. How about that?
Dave.
So a
Dave
lot of-
Rodgers' other team.
a
Yeah,
lot
there you
of
go.
SEC and ACC,
ACC
teams
teams.
in that top
Yeah.
25.
So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll get into girls softball as well. I want to see what Barbie wrote right there. I love that they are mic'd up. She likes hearing the quarterback.
Quarterbacks.
I do too. I like the plays. I like that call. You know what I mean? I like to hear the offense coordinator telling them, "Hey, X, Y, Z, banana, banana, banana." You know, that's all good stuff, man. Yeah, that's good stuff.
We talked about that.
We
banana,
did.
banana.
Yeah, we
Crack
did.
me up. The only thing that I have a problem with that is how long is it going to be before they have somebody watching the game and feeding the defensive coordinator's plays.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about that.
Noah Gibson, you're absolutely right. There is some ex-NFL players, and if you watch that game Sunday, there was a slew of them on that team, and you had one that didn't even play in the quarterback in Landry Jones. Landry Jones used to quarterback the Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way. So there you go.
I
Okay,
got
what do
your
you got?
softball,
You
huh?
got my softball
Yes.
up. All right, let's do it.
All right, number 1 is Washington. Number 2, Oklahoma. Number 3, UCLA. Number 4, Arizona.
Wait for it.
Number 5, Florida State. Number 6 is Texas. Number 7, LSU. Number 8, Florida. Number 9, Alabama. Number 10, Kentucky. Number 11, Michigan. 12 is Tennessee. 13 is Louisiana. Number 14, Minnesota. Number 15, Georgia. Number 16, Oklahoma State. 17, Texas Tech. 18, South Carolina. Number 19 is Missouri. Number 20 is James Madison. Number 21 is Northwestern. Now,
Yep.
well, number 22 is Oregon. They about threw me off there. They got two
Yeah, they got
21s,
two
don't they?
21s there.
Number 23 is Arizona State. Number 24, Arkansas. And number 25, North Carolina.
How about that there? So a lot of ACC and SEC teams there again as well. Baseball loaded up right there. So that's going to do it for our sports report right here. Want to get over real quick, Mr. Byron Bagwell. Want to give you a few minutes. Then we got another comment.
just a
Duels are
couple.
on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Duels are on
Yep,
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, yep.
And
And what is
Anthony
going
also
on?
said Jay is in Jacksonville.
Jay is in Jackson. Yeah,
Jay
yeah.
Gruden.
Jay Gruden. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Bagwell. I know you want to talk about a couple of things. And then we're going to wrap up the show. And me and you are going to have a good show on Saturday because we won't have our compadre here.
Well, we miss him as always.
Well,
Yeah, we will.
Hopefully, I will not be here Saturday.
Well, I don't want you to be here.
I don't want you here either.
I don't want you. I love you. I want you here, but I don't want you here. You know what I
win
mean?
your races, man.
I want to get
Yeah.
some points and win some money.
Yes,
There you
that
go.
would
I'm
be
with
it.
you on that.
The national politics right now is pretty much going the same way as we figured it was going to go. What you have is you basically have a bunch of Democrats fighting for the nomination. There is not much difference in between any of them, with the exception of Joe Biden, who has apparently dove off the deep end. As you were listening, if you were listening earlier today. This man actually called a Democrat supporter who had asked him a question, basically, and then he responded to her, and then he goes, "Have you ever been to a caucus?" And she responded, "Yes, I was at the caucus last year," or something like that. He called this woman a lying, dog-faced pony soldier. And I'm saying, as you can tell, where does this come from? This man.
I know a couple of meanings to that, by the way.
First off, dog-faced pony soldiers. The term that I know it from is an Indian term that the Native Americans in this country used to call black American soldiers. Not the lying part, just the dog-faced pony soldiers. That's what they used to call black soldiers from this country, right? And the other part of it could be he's talking about dog-faced lying mounted Royal Canadian Mounties. I don't know. I don't know which one he's talking about. But you're talking about somebody that supposedly leading in the national polls for the Democrat nomination, and he's making comments to his base like that. Something is not going right with Joe Biden, and I don't know whether it's because he's getting beat in Iowa, or he got beat in Iowa, and he's getting beat here too, and he just doesn't care anymore, and he's just going to say what he wants to. I don't understand it, but something's not quite right with Joe Biden in saying things like that. And I can tell you really quick, David,
Okay.
I want everybody to think about this. If a Republican candidate had called a woman Republican that term, what would the media be doing right now?
Oh man,
Oh,
they'll be
it'd be stewing
nipping at
at
the heels like a bunch of chihuahuas.
And it's not nothing is being said about this. And I'm sitting back going, this man is not in his right mind.
Right.
You don't
Well,
call people that.
His goose is cooked, so
I just wanted to
It's over.
interrupt you, Byron, not to interrupt what you were saying. I want to apologize to everybody, and Byron noticed it earlier in the show. I want to apologize to everybody's comments that aren't coming up here.
They're not all of them.
Yeah,
aren't
I'm
coming
not
up.
sure. All of them aren't coming up, and there was some really good ones. I know that Dwight Allen, I can't see any of his comments. Guys, we're going to get this fixed. So I just wanted to, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to apologize because I know there will be some comments coming, especially in this topic here. So I'm sorry
if we don't
about
see
that.
Your comments.
Yeah.
You know what's
going on.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah,
maybe Byron can try to follow it a little bit here.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about Joe Biden, and what you have is you have Pete Buttigieg, who is mayor from South Bend, Indiana, who has won the Iowa caucuses. Apparently, we're not sure because we're not sure that they figured out how to count. Not being funny. I'm not being funny. The system that they were using failed, and they were supposed to hand count all of the votes, and then they changed the rules like 3 or 4 times with it. And he was leading in New Hampshire too, and then Bernie Sanders was next, and then Elizabeth Warren, and then Joe Biden and Amy Klobuchar were the actual how those caucuses have gone so far. And I'm not sure New Hampshire's totally in yet either. I
don't think so.
Didn't get a chance to listen to a whole lot of it earlier today, but
I think it's rigged. I think they tried to put who they want to run, and I hate, I'm not no supporter of Bernie Sanders at all, but I think Bernie Sanders is getting screwed over
again.
Again.
And that is wrong. Now, if you think take it for instance, if they'll rig their own elections for who they want to get in there, what do you think they're going to try to do with the national election?
Sure,
they will try to rig it as well. Just think about it.
Well, they've done that in the past. And both sides have actually done that in the past.
Right.
But you look at recent history, you get all sort of things like people who have been dead for 100 years voting, people voting multiple times. And those are proven cases, and there's people that have gone to jail over it. But you don't hear it in the national media because they don't want you to know that. Hillary Clinton should have never been running last year against Donald Trump, or 4 years ago against Donald Trump.
No.
She shouldn't have. Bernie Sanders was basically
he was killing her in the polls.
He was killing her in the polls. They fixed the caucuses, and they paid him off. He literally received money from the DNC. Is what happened with that. So he just quietly went back and said, "I'll run the next time." So now here he is again.
And the same thing is happening.
And the same thing is happening again.
So they're just going to turn around, pay more money, and say, "Hey, be quiet."
But for a man who's never had a job in his life other than being a politician, none. He lived off of other people, just like Karl Marx did. For a person that's never had a job, I mean, you're turning me into a multimillionaire, and all I have to do is run my mouth for a little while about socialism/communism. Make a bunch of people believe what's going on, and then when you want me to bow out and give me money, I'm going to bow out and give me money. And I'm sitting here with 3 or 4 houses worth millions of dollars, and not ever having to worry about myself, my family, my kids, my grandkids, or anybody else ever again.
Well, that whole thing with them having that app, that right there, they can manipulate that easily.
Well, Pete Buttigieg, Pete Buttigieg was. Was some way involved with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the front runner is in some way involved with the app that they're using to count the votes, and then the app fails.
Right.
So did some of the votes go somewhere?
I mean, we don't know. I mean, that's
and see this. If I was still a Democrat, a registered Democrat, this would drive me insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would literally make me furious in my own party. You can't count votes.
Their party is falling apart.
Votes?
It's falling apart with
Yeah, it is. And me and Byron talked about that today. It's really falling apart with the thing with Trump. Now you can't count votes in caucuses. I mean, it's just really it's become a snowball effect, and it just keeps rolling. You know what I mean?
And
it don't seem like no time to stop.
And here's the thing. What you're going to eventually get is we can't do this right. So what we need to do is have instead of having the system that we have, we need to have a general election, and the winner of the popular vote is going to be the president.
Right.
When they start having problems with that, because we start having problems that there's no electoral college, what they're going to say is, we just don't need to have president. We just need to have a bicameral body that's basically there like the British do.
Right.
Which is corrupt. I mean, it's corrupt and has been that way for a long time. So I look at the whole thing, and I'm like, and they know it too. They're not going to beat Donald Trump. There's no way with what he's done, with all that he's been through and done at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they're going to beat him. He will either win in an electoral landslide like he did the last time, or he will win in a landslide. Period.
Right.
Yeah.
And from what I saw in New Jersey, from his rally in New Jersey, people may get a total shock. He may win in a complete landslide because New Jersey's just about as blue as it gets.
He may turn them.
Yeah, he may turn. He may turn some.
Really amazing how many people were there at that rally.
All right, Byron. Hey, real quick, touch on these books, man, and I want to close the show down real quick. Touch on these books here, and I want to continue
these
this.
The last time, Common Sense and Rights of Man and Other Essays by Thomas Paine. You want a little bit of insight about how Americans felt at the time of the Revolution and what this man was trying to do at the time of the Revolution. Read Common Sense. It has lots of quotes in it, like these are the times that tribesmen souls came from Common Sense. Also, Sunshine. This term "Sunshine Soldiers" is from that too. Really great stuff.
And that's what's missing up in Washington, D.C. right now.
Yes.
It's
Common
Patriots. I know.
Yeah, Patriots. Yeah.
This book is one of the most important documents
Mm-hmm.
from our founding. What this is the Federalist Papers, and it is literally a bunch of articles that John Jay, James Madison, and Alexander Hamilton wrote to justify us ratifying the Constitution. So the people read it, they went to their representatives, said, yes, we want it, no, we don't, and they went from there and they actually ratified the Constitution, and these are arguments for and against it. There's a very interesting section in here if you want to read about what happened with this last impeachment by Alexander Hamilton. He outlined his fears of what would happen with impeachment, and it actually just happened. Exactly the way he describes it in the Federalist Papers.
So let me read that book. So there you go. Thank you.
Well,
there you go.
I've read it before.
Yeah.
I had to read it again, but I was in the middle of reading Common Sense. So
There you go. So I'll read the Federalist Papers. How about that?
Sure.
But anyway, want to thank you guys for tuning into the show. It was a great show. We talked a lot about local stuff. We talked some sports. We talked some national and world news. And Mr. Byron Bagwell is going to have a surprise for you on Saturday night, by the way. Aren't you?
Oh, dear God, Noah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I say, yeah.
No.
Yeah, we don't even need to get into that, do we?
No.
No. I was just going to say no. So, anyway, Noah, we'll get into that on Saturday.
No, we won't either. We will not get into that name on Saturday.
All right.
Nope.
So, on behalf of Mr. John Probst, Mr. Dave Holland, our producer, Roger with his newfound son, Kenda Muammar Gaddafi, Mr. Byron Bagwell, and kin to the rest of the clan, Nancy Pelosi, AOC, and
You
Adam
just said
Schiff.
it right, the Klan. You said
The
it right.
clan right there.
You just said
And
it
me,
right.
the one guy that
That's
has
a
the
Klan
most
fake
comments.
is what that is.
What'd you say? Well, I'm Bernie Sanders and what? My Bernie Sanders, my dad.
Do you hear that?
Andrew Yang just
Here we go. No, what do I hear? Oh! God bless you guys. Good night. We'll see you Saturday.
Good night, Infidels.
Good night, Infidels.
You old crap. I just smashed my hand.
I know you do.